And here's a characo sketch. And this one was so very fun. I mean, they're all fun. I love characos, period. And this is one of the servers that I will always have open, I believe. I hope so. Because basically just concept design. And it's like my ultimate freedom. And so with this, the client gave like the ultimate, ultimate Charico order, which is they just indicated the gender, the sex, the body sex, and um, everything else was my choice. And so I initially, what quickly came to mind is I wanted um, what we would call a masculine top, so they don't have any breasts, um, and because they don't need it. And I wanted, because I was thinking of an old piece I did where the demon character, old concept where they had a masculine, where they had no breasts and they had a pussy, and then I also thought of a previous character, old one, where they had mouths for arms, and so I would consider this character of the same species. But now I've actually just went farther with their species info, and so and also, so when I first started, I was thinking of giving them a face, but I quickly was like, no, I don't want them to have a face. I thought it would be cooler, so I wanted them to have lips so they could be kissable, but just not have facial, so they could see, just not how humans think seeing is. And so with their mouths, so their tail is the first mouth to form and the last mouth. That's why they don't need breasts, because the babies don't eat for like a year, and they form their mouth at the first mouth that comes is the tail. And so they have like three to five mouths, and each mouth, it's not that they have their own personality. They don't. They're the character. So it's like if there was two of you, you were the exact same person, but you were just not in the same body. And so in their mouths, they can move them around while they mature. So this character is like a teenager for their species, late teens. So still a kid, but and so most of their body parts are still maturing, and they mature at different rates. So that's why, so their arm is mature, and there's two on the other arm, and those are the babies, and they're the last ones who are going to mature. And so while they mature, they can move them around the body, and as they mature, it becomes permanent and harder to move them. So once they, usually their species use settles the mouths at the arms and the legs. And so and so the tail is biting her because the tail, like mentioned, is the youngest, and it's being a brat. Well, it's not the youngest, but it's the slowest one to mature, and it's mad because the the main body, which I call the oldest, so the oldest wouldn't let her get uh, wouldn't let her get piercings, and because she got piercings everywhere, so now she's popping her attitude and being a little shit about it. And this character had to put a mouth at the mid tail in order to control her, because that's how much of a brat. Um, like some people have like chill tail ends. I mean, some of their people have chill tail ends, but sometimes, man, it's just a problem child. And so, and also this character is what we would consider as humans to be a stud. And if you don't know, a stud is basically a masculine female. And so, and I wanted, you see that in the clothing. Her clothing for her species is very masculine, like someone who was into femininity or was like femininity clothing and stuff would never wear what she's wearing, or at least they wouldn't be comfortable in it, and they'll feel awkward about it or need something. But yeah, and I thought it would be fun to have the arm off like chomp on the clothing a little bit. So they're about mature. They're still fairly young. But yeah, the mid tail end is the maturest one of them all. And so when they're all, when the whole body is mature, then they could separate and still be alive. But when they're young, while they're maturing, if they separate, it feels like suffocating. Like the younger they are, the more likely they could die, and the faster they could die. And so they have to stay in contact. So that's why the mid is trying to keep like trying to rein in the tail end from like detaching all the way. And so and also they have two little babies on the other arm. So they first come in as eyes, and yeah, they had two little babies on their arms, on their arm. And so, like I said, the mouths are basically them. And so, once they all mature, they can separate and live forever as long as the oldest is alive. But once the oldest dies, then the other selves, so they can even have their own life experiences too. Like, so if when they're mature and the tail end like is taken away or something and comes back after 5 years, it's recovered. Like they, because like I said, they're them, and they generally like stay together. It's rare, very rare, for one to like go off on its own. So usually it's because they've been kidnapped, and they can have their own experience. And when they come back, it'll be yourself, but with a traumatic experience behind it. So yeah, this was so fun. I can't wait to do more, and I'll be sharing more about the species in a post. And please be sure to subscribe to see even more videos and more creations. And please consider being a benefit program member to support more creations that I could do just full time and just share and hopefully inspire. Thank you so much. Bye.